And here is another. Earlier, producer Liz caught up with Jack and Dan from Instructions for Song.
We started about a year ago, probably like just as the pandemic was sort of opening back up again. We'd kind of been a band for about 6 months at that time. And we just converted my bedroom in my house into a little bedroom studio. We called it Scabby Road. Yeah, we just started writing very rough demos with literally just an acoustic guitar and Dan's hours of demos and content.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of poems as, I guess, lyrics, and then we just sort of whacked them together and saw what we come out with.
Jack and I have always been two halves of the same brain. He feels everything that I can't do, so we work really well as a team.
Like a yin and yang.
Yeah, we really are.
That's lovely. That's
it
so
is.
nice.
Yeah.
It is. It's a very nice relationship we have, isn't it?
We really do. It's something I cherish a lot, Jack. We've known each other since we were born. Our parents were best friends, and then they had us a month apart, and we've been stuck together ever since. And I'm not sick of him yet. I'm getting there.
And this is the first time you've made music together in all those years?
Yeah. Before Instructions for Song, really, we never did anything musical, not in school or anything. We just kind of said to each other, like, wouldn't it be cool if we were in a band? And, you know, I self-taught myself guitar, and you knew a bit piano, and we just kind of figured it out from there, really. That was the starting of it.
Yeah.
And what a great way to keep yourself entertained during the lockdown. Did it provide a lot of inspiration during that period?
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. I mean, because of the absence of everything, it was really nice to have an outlet that we could put all our time into, because we had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
It was a really good opportunity for us, actually, to focus on it and have a really good start.
It's also a great excuse to spend lots of money on new guitars and equipment, really, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's a great hobby to have, you know.
So Scabby Road isn't so scabby. There's a lot of nice equipment there.
Oh no, it was really scabby.
It was,
it's awful.
I mean, to begin with, it was really, you know, second-hand everything. You know, we had a second-hand SM58 that we just...
You spent a tenner on that, wasn't it?
Yeah, shouted into, and I mean, it was a lovely studio. I mean, it did the job, but it was...
I don't know about lovely.
It was very, what's the word? I don't know, rustic, you could say.
It was authentic. It was raw.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've upgraded in increments over time. It's still scabby, but it does it. It's all good. If it sounds good, it sounds good.
Yeah.
And I trust you because you both work in the music industry. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah,
sure.
you could say that. We both work currently at the O2 Academy in Oxford on Cowley Road, which is a lot of fun. I think that in itself, I worked there before lockdown, and it basically was a great excuse to watch lots of free gigs. And I think that reflected on me during the lockdown, being like, wow, that would be a lot of fun to kind of try and do that. And then when you came to Oxford, I got you a job there, and
I hadn't even seen a gig till like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it'd basically been like your first gig experience, wasn't it?
It really was.
What?
Yeah.
So you're a poet,
I know.
really? You're not a musician? Or this is your first foray into music?
Honestly, Jack has been my induction into like music, to be honest. Jack's always had like good influences, and he's always kind of known enough about music to talk about it. And
then I just forced that upon you, didn't I?
Yeah,
and
I didn't really even care about music until I was about like 18, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
And Jack, which band made you go, I can do that on stage at the O2 Academy, or made you want to do that?
Wow. I've seen amazing gigs at the O2, but I mean, I saw people like Easy Life, which I liked a lot, but I mean, there's so many to choose from. I mean, we recently saw Idols. They did a truck store session, and that was brilliant.
Gender Roles.
We saw Gender Roles at the Jericho Tavern. And yeah, I think number one for us was Pet Shimmers at the Bullingdon. Seeing them support Porridge Radio was very much like, wow, I mean, these guys are very talented, and there's 7 of them and there's only 2 of us, but
it's a good example of what you can do with music. Like, it's so sonically diverse.
I think what we took away from that was, why can't we do that? Let's do it,
And you sent us one track, Blue, but you said there's more to come. So how much music did you write over lockdown?
We spent about 7 or 8 months kind of figuring out what we wanted to sound like just kind of listening and taking notes and making little rough demos and getting a sound. We're going to move on with Instructions for Song though, because when we thought we were going to start a band and it was going to be Instructions for Song, it's kind of changed meaning over time. I feel like we were really arrogant at first to assume that we'd make really good music from the start, and it took a long time to start making semi-good music. And then the meaning of the name has kind of changed to now, whilst we've been Instructions for Song, we've been learning the Instructions for Song in a way.
Well, thanks for sending in this
Absolutely.
track, Blue. Loved listening to it and can't wait to hear more stuff. Can you tell us a little bit about that track?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's a love story about myself. I guess, without being crude, it is really about kind of falling in love with yourself and spending time with yourself and cherishing that time. We can't. Look, it's a fairly inappropriate song. You wouldn't expect it, but it means something completely different than what you'd probably assume upon first listening.
Well, I'm going to be listening for the subtext now when we hear this now. I'm going to hand over the radio to you both. Would you like to introduce your track?
Okay.
Yeah.
We are Instructions for Song,
And this
is
is,
Blue.